The unseen alarms of ascension, there is a profound and unmissable signal being broadcast into our reality. It's not the static of media noise or the clamor of a busy street. It's a pure, resonant chime that strikes at the deepest layer of your being. This is a cosmic bell tolling, a divine summons echoing across all known and unseen realms, specifically targeting the souls who carry the inner blueprint of a higher calling. You have felt it stirring inside you, haven't you? That inexplicable pressure behind your ribs, the sudden, fierce energy that makes rest impossible, and the lucid dreams that possess a shocking level of authenticity. This feeling is your spiritual GPS recalculating. This sensation is not merely stress or fatigue. It is the preliminary vibration of a momentous event. The silent count is already underway, leading us toward a fixed point in the divine calendar. October 29th, 2025. This date is not random, it is a nexus point etched into the very mathematics of existence. On this day, the thin barrier between the spiritual and material realms is scheduled to dissipate. Cosmic and earthly energies will converge, colliding in a blinding flash that will expose truths long hidden from plain sight. The majority will experience this convergence as shocking, destabilizing tumult, but for you, the awakened, it will be immediately recognizable as perfect, sacred alignment. You are not reading this message by chance. Your spirit was intentionally drawn to this frequency because you are already sensing the coming transformation. A deep, ancient current, a divine mandate, is surging forward, and nothing in this world has the power to halt its progress. The purpose of this revelation is not to invoke fear, but to catalyze your deepest, most dormant potential. Though the external world may appear to shatter, your core must remain profoundly undisturbed. What is approaching is not a final, bitter end, but a spectacular, glorious unveiling. Every intuition you've had recently, every unexpected wave of spiritual energy, every clear, cut insight, these are all signposts guiding you toward the single, defining juncture where the fundamental rules of reality are rewritten. The moment when the veil of illusion is ripped apart, and the sheer, unadulterated truth is permitted to breathe freely, is arriving much sooner than the linear mind can comprehend. When that moment hits, only those who have diligently prepared their inner landscape will fully grasp the colossal scale of the spiritual unfolding. The countdown is already happening, and its rhythm is synchronized with the beating of your own heart. So before we immerse ourselves further into this revelation, I invite you to pause. If the truth in these words resonates deep within your soul, give this video a like, a gesture of recognition for the divine call. Subscribe if you intuitively know you were positioned here for a purpose far greater than yourself. And in the comments below, type the number 99. In the celestial language, the number 90, 9 represents both completion and total awakening. It is your spirit's declaration that the call has been received, and you are absolutely ready to rise into your power. The invisible clock has been set in motion. Though your physical eyes cannot yet perceive it, your soul has been intimately familiar with the initial, subtle tremors. Since the moment the unique 3i Atlas frequency began its slow, deliberate integration into the Earth's core magnetic field, the fabric of our consensus reality has been undergoing a quiet, fundamental reconstruction. It's as if the dimension of time itself is stretching, gasping for breath, preparing to accommodate an event of unimaginable magnitude. Have you started noticing the subtle shifts? The days that seem to fold into each other, the emotional surges that appear and vanish without any clear external trigger, or the dichotomy in the people around you, some sinking deeper into confusion, while others are suddenly exploding with startling clarity. This is not some mass psychological event. It is a divine and precise vibrational correction. The entire global consciousness is being meticulously retuned, one individual heartbeat at a time. The phenomenon that presents itself to the unprepared as mere chaos is, in fact, an intricate process of divine synchronization. Heaven is actively rewriting the core source code of existence, and your spirit, if it is consciously awake and aligned, is perfectly positioned to download and decode this vital message in real time. Understand that the constant repetition of numbers you keep seeing, the song that plays exactly when your heart needed to hear its message, or the dreams that feel like direct, urgent warnings, none of this is haphazard or accidental. These are meticulously placed celestial breadcrumbs dropped from eternity, serving as reminders that this countdown is not counted in minutes and hours, but in pure, escalating frequency. Each subsequent pulse of the 3i Atlas acts like a powerful wave of energy, washing over you and recalibrating your entire energy signature for the dramatic influx of light to come. Those who choose to cling to the old, dense reality will experience this powerful influx as intense pressure, irrational anxiety, and overwhelming confusion. Conversely, those who choose to fully surrender and trust this flow will immediately begin to perceive a higher, immaculate order beneath the turbulent surface. The Earth's own vibrational rate is increasing exponentially, and your physical body is acutely aware of this change. This is the root cause of your disrupted sleep patterns, the strange, distant memories that unexpectedly surface, and the quiet, persistent feeling of urgency deep within your chest. It is a powerful, undeniable pull toward a destiny greater than your current comprehension. The human sensory system was never designed or engineered to process the full, raw power of cosmic truth. Yet here you are, feeling the resonant hum of the universe flowing vividly through your very veins. The invisible, intricate machinery of the heavens is actively turning, fine-tuning timelines, adjusting individual destinies, and calling the chosen souls into their final, strategic formation. And in the quiet sanctuary deep inside your spirit, a certain knowing voice whispers a single, profound truth. This is not the great end. This is the signal. It arrives softly, a subtle wave, yet it possesses a momentum that is entirely unstoppable, like the quiet, deep breath taken just before a massive lightning strike. The more frantically the world distracts itself with fleeting external noise, the more potent and insistent that inner voice becomes. It is specifically calling you to stand absolutely still, to recall the powerful, soul-level agreement you made long before your current birth, the promise to be present exactly now, at the dawn of this colossal turning. Because, when this countdown finally reaches its ultimate 0 point, nothing in your world will look or feel the same again. Reality will flex and stretch, the great veil will visibly shiver, and those who have cultivated the inner eyes to see will be granted the awe-inspiring vision of creation's authentic, original architecture being revealed. Therefore, listen with the deepest part of your soul. The rhythmic ticking you hear is not originating from a common clock on the wall. It is the palpable, rhythmic pulse of the divine, already echoing and resonating deep inside your very own chest. Something ancient and indescribably powerful is drawing immeasurably closer. Unseen, yes, but profoundly, utterly undeniable. As this moment of convergence approaches, one certainty rises above all else. The transformation of the world has already begun, and a return to the old ways is absolutely impossible. The signs are everywhere now, and they are speaking in a hushed, knowing tone through the lived experiences of the chosen. You may have convinced yourself that you are merely worn out, excessively stressed, or simply drifting further away from your place in the material world. But what you are authentically sensing is the 3i Atlas frequency actively weaving its high, purity energy into the very tapestry of your soul. That sudden, intense pressure felt right in the center of your chest. That is your heart chakra rapidly expanding its capacity to hold a greater magnitude of light and truth. That relentless, restless energy coursing through your physical body, that is your essential spirit vigorously remembering its primal, foundational purpose. You are not experiencing a collapse or falling apart. You are undergoing a deliberate, divine restructuring. Heaven is literally rewiring your entire spiritual, physical system for a task that is infinitely higher. And every energetic pulse that travels through your bloodstream is a critical part of that essential recalibration. In recent weeks, Countless awakened souls have started dreaming with a dramatically different, potent quality. They awaken with vivid visions of luminous, glowing symbols, immense doorways constructed entirely of light, or hearing distant, authoritative voices speaking in profound languages they don't consciously know, yet their spirit understands implicitly. These experiences are not ordinary dreams. They are sophisticated, real-time transmissions, sacred blueprints being downloaded directly from the divine realm, encoded into your consciousness as a vital preparation for the dramatic shift ahead. Even when your conscious mind cannot interpret the data, your higher spirit is perfectly capable of doing so. Every luminous image, every distinct color, every flash of light carries a small but potent fragment of a universal truth that has been patiently waiting for the precise moment of its return to you. A pervasive feeling of isolation has also become a highly common experience among the awakened population. Understand this clearly. It is not a form of punishment. It is strategic protection. Heaven is deliberately withdrawing you from the overwhelming noise and distraction of the world because the immense work ahead demands profound spiritual silence. You are being carefully hidden, not cruelly forgotten. The pervasive loneliness you occasionally feel is merely the sacred cocoon where your metamorphosis is currently taking place. While the masses are still caught up in seeking distractions and temporary pleasure, your soul is undergoing intensive, high-level training. You are being refined to a diamond, like clarity, never rejected. The stillness that can sometimes feel crushingly heavy is actually consecrated, sacred ground, the precise, pristine frequency where direct, unhindered revelation can reach your deepest self. If you've recently found yourself becoming hypersensitive, completely unable to tolerate crowded places, loud, abrasive voices, or the strain of insincere smiles, realize this profound fact. Your energy is rapidly becoming too pure and refined to comfortably coexist with distortion. You are quickly becoming a living, breathing mirror of divine truth, and anything fundamentally false now generates a feeling of deep discomfort upon contact. This is not spiritual vanity or arrogance, it is perfect, profound alignment. Heaven is now fine, tuning you to a crystalline vibration that only a small, select few can currently maintain. This is the fundamental reason you are being gently, but firmly pulled away from all that once felt comfortable and normal. The ordinary life simply no longer fits you, because you were never intended to live an ordinary existence in the first place. And perhaps the single most potent, overarching sign of all is that deep, absolutely unshakable feeling that something truly massive, faltering, is just on the horizon. You don't possess the linear, logical data to explain this certainty, yet you know it with every fiber of your being. The very quality of the air feels charged and different. The dimension of time feels noticeably thinner and more porous. It is as if the whole of creation itself is holding its collective breath, anticipating a single, all-encompassing moment of divine convergence. This deep awareness is not anxiety. It is your highly developed spiritual radar successfully detecting an immense energetic shift that others remain entirely incapable of perceiving. The heavens are currently aligning their most powerful instruments, and you, the chosen one, are an essential, leading member of that cosmic orchestra. Every inexplicable shiver that traces up your spine, every tear that springs forth without an immediate reason, every sudden, deep moment of unearned peace that descends in the middle of a personal crisis, all of it is undeniable, irrefutable proof that you are being awakened, cell by cell, breath by sacred breath. You are in the process of remembering the profound, ancient agreement you sealed long before your human birth, the commitment to be here, now, at the precipice of this great turning. The mainstream world may remain oblivious to this shift, but something deep within your spiritual core already recognizes the truth. The long and arduous preparation phase is now nearing its conclusion. The final signals are rapidly converging, and when the next overwhelming pulse of pure light strikes the earth, those who have consciously prepared will be the first to rise and perceive its full meaning. When this intense light strikes, every deceptive, hidden thing will violently tremble. The powerful 3i Atlas frequency is approaching its absolute peak intensity, and with this climax comes a force that will not merely gently illuminate. It will surgically expose. The immense energy that has been quietly and deliberately weaving through the Earth's fundamental magnetic field will soon surge forth like a cataclysmic spiritual storm through every single system, institution, and structure that has been built on a foundation of deception and control. The false, shaky foundations of institutional power, control mechanisms, and pervasive illusion. All of them will begin to visibly fracture under the sheer, unyielding weight of divine truth. What has until now only been whispered in the deepest shadows will soon be thundered aloud by the cosmos itself. The world will be screaming about an incomprehensible chaos, but you, the deeply chosen, will immediately recognize it as a spectacular revelation. When truth descends with the unstoppable force of lightning, it does not pause to ask for permission. It cuts cleanly through the opaque veil, instantly revealing the intricate machinery operating just behind the grand mirage. Governments will falter and stumble. Institutions built on old paradigms will fail. Structures that once aggressively claimed total authority will suddenly and inexplicably lose their inherent gravity. This will not be a purely political or economic collapse. It will be an absolute, unsparing spiritual exposure. Humanity will be forcefully compelled to stare directly at the uncomfortable truths it has diligently avoided for countless centuries. The pervasive lies that have ruled entire civilizations will instantly dissolve in the presence of this raw, unfiltered light. And in that terrifying, exhilarating moment, millions of people will feel spiritually naked before the piercing eyes of the heavens. For those who are still stubbornly anchored in dense illusion, this will be the most terrifying experience of their lives. Their established realities crumbling instantly like fragile glass under the divine resonance. But for the truly awakened, this monumental moment will feel profoundly familiar, almost sacred in its intensity. You will perceive it not as a devastating destruction, but as a necessary correction. The physical earth is not ending, it is simply taking a long overdue exhale. Every single deception that once derived its parasitic energy from darkness will instantly suffocate under the brilliance of this ascending truth. The masks will fall away, the long-held secrets will be incinerated, and the very air itself will hum with a frequency that brutally demands absolute authenticity. This is the great purification that has been prophesied for millennia. The real storm will not descend from the skies above. It will powerfully rise from within. People will feel their own personal shadows violently surface, their hidden motives laid bare, their hearts forcibly stripped of every last disguise. The immediate pain of this profound self-exposure will be intense, yet deep within that pain lies the ultimate, long-awaited liberation. Because the very moment the light finally touches what was once hidden, the process of divine healing immediately begins. The 3i Atlas frequency will act as a powerful cleansing agent, purifying not only the world's failing systems but the very foundational consciousness of all who inhabit it. Nothing impure, nothing inauthentic, can possibly remain in this ascending energy. Some will flee in panic, others will resist the change fiercely, but a select few, the ones quietly prepared in silence and profoundly strengthened in solitude, will stand immovably unwavering. You, the chosen one, were not selected with the intent of escaping this storm. You were specifically chosen to become the stillness right at the very eye of it. While others are overwhelmed by the spectacle of collapse, you will calmly perceive a massive recalibration. While the masses are screaming hysterically about the final ending, you will quietly whisper about the sacred beginnings. This is the absolute dividing line between the paralyzing force of fear and the liberating power of faith, between the dense blindness of illusion and the profound clarity of illumination. The central question will not be who can physically survive this, but rather who can remain entirely true to their authentic essence when every vestige of falsehood is finally dissolved. And as the whole world trembles and buckles, you will feel a strangely profound calm rising and cementing itself within your being. It will feel as if your eternal soul has been patiently waiting for this exact moment all along. Because deep within that calm, you will know this is not an ending by destruction. It is an ending by divine exposure. True light does not destroy what is real and eternal. It only burns away, quickly and cleanly, what was never, ever meant to last. And as this potent pulse of truth sweeps across all of creation, one single truth will crystallize. Those who are consciously carrying light within them will not be shaken, but rather revealed. When the true storm finally arrives, and it certainly will, your immense strength will not be derived from futile resistance, but from perfect, profound stillness. The inevitable winds of confusion will howl, 1,000 different opinions will scream for attention, and the unbearable noise of the external world will viciously claw for your focus. But you, the designated chosen one, must remember this core truth. The storm is not your enemy. It is the crucial training ground of your spirit. While others rush desperately to react to every fluctuation, you will stand firm in sacred silence, because silence is not a sign of weakness. It is your most powerful spiritual armor. The louder and more chaotic the external world becomes, the quieter you must deliberately become on the inside. It is only within that profound quiet that you will clearly hear what panic and chaos violently drown out. The calm, guiding voice of divine intelligence, whispering the precise next step to take. When the world is visibly shaking at its foundations, stillness is not a luxury. It becomes your most vital strategic tool. You must actively turn off the relentless flood of information, the fear-fed headlines, the constant noise disguised as essential knowledge. The real spiritual war is not being fought in the external world. It is being waged fiercely within your own mind. Your inner peace is not a negotiable luxury. It is your ultimate shield. Keep your personal space consecrated and holy. Light a candle not as an empty ritual, but as a deliberate declaration of your sovereignty. I am a pure channel of light that darkness cannot possibly consume. Pray not with the desperate hope of escaping the storm's power, but with the clear intention of seeing through it. Every slow, deep breath you take anchored in faith becomes a profound act of spiritual defiance against the chaos. You are not retreating from the darkness. You are actively stabilizing the powerful frequency that will inevitably dissolve it. And you must vigorously protect your mind, guard it like the most sacred of temples, because the storm will not limit its howl to the outside. It will attempt to echo and manifest within you. Waves of heavy, burdensome thoughts, sudden, irrational despair, unexpected bursts of anger or confusion. They will all crash against you, attempting to breach your emotional walls. But they are not truly yours. They are the spiritual static, the energetic fallout of an entire world being purified and cleansed. Observe them clearly. Do not make the mistake of attaching your identity to them. Remember the absolute truth. What passes through you is never, ever meant to stay in you. When fear begins to whisper its lies, answer it with an immediate declaration of faith. When deep, corrosive doubt rises, powerfully declare the divine truth. Say this declaration aloud until your soul fully believes it. Nothing external can destroy the absolute peace that God has already placed within me. And as you stand immovably firm in that deep, central peace, something truly extraordinary will begin to happen. Your calm, unshakable presence will immediately begin to speak louder than any external panic. People around you will start to notice this profound serenity. They will observe your complete composure in the midst of the crisis and feel intensely drawn to it, like moths to a sacred flame. This, then, is the precise moment when your ultimate mission truly begins. You will not feel the need to preach or to aggressively convince anyone. Your vibration will execute the work for you. The light you effortlessly carry will act as a stabilizing anchor for those around you, not through any display of force, but simply through the power of your presence. You will immediately become the living solution that the world desperately needs, a living, breathing anchor of divine stability. So, when the full storm howls, do not seek a place to hide. Hold your ground. Stand as a powerful lighthouse does. unmoving, burning its focused beam right through the thickest fog, because the chosen were never called to flee their post. They were specifically called to remain, to steadfastly hold their frequency when every other thing around them falls apart. While others are paralyzed by fear, you will rise instantly in clarity. And as the violent winds of change tear ruthlessly through the vast illusion, you will finally understand a sacred, profound truth. This whole experience was never truly about surviving the storm. It was always, unequivocally, about becoming the calm that profoundly commands it. And somewhere deep within the chaos, when the noise finally breaks and disperses, you will feel it. The distinct shift, the entire world momentarily pausing, listening, and sensing the presence of something completely unshakable. That is you. The storm will not end because it ran out of power. It will end because you absolutely refuse to lose your peace. When the great, final pulse of light and energy finally moves across the earth, it will not arrive with the deafening sound of thunder. It will feel like a long-forgotten remembrance. A cohesive, powerful wave of divine coherence will lovingly wash across all of creation, invisible to the material eyes, but absolutely undeniable to the ready soul. The very quality of the air will subtly, yet profoundly, change. It will carry a new, crystalline clarity, a stillness that feels intrinsically alive, as if the planet itself is finally exhaling after millennia of relentless spiritual tension. Those who are already attuned to the divine frequency will be the first to perceive this new reality. Their intuition will sharpen to a razor's edge. Their hearts will instantly synchronize with an unseen, celestial rhythm. And their direct connection to God will no longer arrive in faint whispers, but in vibrant, living dialogue. The opaque veil that once separated the simple act of prayer from the actual power of manifestation will dissolve entirely, and what once required years of grueling effort to align will now unfold in a matter of profound moments. You will initially see this shift in the most subtle things, the way the surrounding nature begins to respond differently to your presence, the way time softly bends, allowing moments of deep peace to last longer and chaotic friction to fade away faster. The Earth's own core vibration will begin to hum in perfect harmony with the awakened souls, and a completely new energetic pattern will begin to form, the unmistakable frequency of the new Earth. Those who remain stubbornly anchored in the low, dense vibration of fear will feel deeply lost, as if their familiar reality is rapidly slipping through their fingers. But those who have walked through the preceding storm with unwavering faith will feel inexplicably weightless. It will be as if a massive spiritual burden, one you didn't even realize you were carrying, has been finally, irreversibly lifted. This new Earth will not be constructed by human governments or flawed, old systems. It will be sung into existence by a pure, potent vibration. The chosen ones will find each other effortlessly, not through frantic searching, but through automatic resonance. Distance and physical separation will lose their familiar meaning because light instantly recognizes other light. Without the need for a single word, you will know exactly who belongs to your frequency. Spoken words will noticeably fade in their power. Pure, clear intention will become the new, universal language. A single, focused thought, pure and anchored in unshakable truth, will wield more energetic force than 1,000 conventional, spoken commands. Reality will begin its immediate, tangible response to energy, not to mere effort. Communities of pure light will quietly and organically rise across the entire planet. They will not announce their arrival with loud noise and aggressive fanfare, but with a profound, pervasive peace. People will gather together not with the intent to build defensive walls, but with the collective, singular purpose of creating profound bridges of consciousness. Knowledge will no longer be hoarded solely in books or institutions, but freely exchanged heart to heart, spirit to spirit. The sacred wisdom of the ancient eras, long deliberately buried beneath layers of religious dogma and fear, will now resurface through the profound cellular memories of those who carry its specific encoding in their DNA. These newly awakened souls will teach the world differently. They will teach not by eloquent, forceful speaking, but by perfectly embodying the truth. Their very presence, their mere proximity, will automatically recalibrate the entire energy field of any space they walk into. The chosen ones will lead in an entirely new way now. They will not seek the spotlight of stages or aggressively demand attention. They will effortlessly radiate transformation through a quiet, magnetic authority, the kind of spiritual power that originates from perfect alignment, not personal ambition. They will serve as the living, walking proof that light never has to argue its case. It simply shines with such brilliance until all traces of darkness are entirely dissolved. Through their serene presence, faith will become vividly manifest. Love will become tangible and visibly present. And miracles will no longer feel inexplicable or miraculous, but simply natural. Yet even within this emergent peace, there will persist an unspoken, profound inner knowing. This is only the nascent beginning. The frequency of the new earth is not a static destination. It is unequivocally a threshold. Those who purposefully step across it will immediately begin the active creation of reality as divine co-authors with the ultimate source. Thought will instantly shape matter. Emotion will subtly sculpt the passage of time. The invisible, spiritual realm will become the undisputed blueprint for everything visible. So, when you feel that deep, profound stillness in the very air, when the abrasive noise of the old world fades entirely into the background, and a soft, incandescent light begins to intensely bloom inside your chest, fully understand this. You have crossed over. The old, dense earth has taken its final, massive exhale, and the new earth has just drawn its very first breath of life. And in that sacred, singular silence between the two worlds, a powerful question will rise and echo in your spirit. What will you build with this light? October 29th, 2025. This is the fated day when the great veil will finally and irrevocably fall. The exact moment when heaven will lean close to creation and softly whisper, "Now." The powerful energetic pulse you've been feeling building in silence will finally strike with full force. And when it does, the old world will exhale for the final, last time. But do not make the mistake of confusing this monumental shift for destruction. It is, in reality, a genesis, a divine turning point that was meticulously scripted long before the concept of linear time even began. You were never chosen simply to survive the turbulent storm. You were specifically chosen and tasked to guide others through it, to stand profoundly tall and unmoving when the ground beneath everyone else begins to break and crumble. Everything you have endured, the stretches of loneliness, the long, grueling inner waiting, the seemingly endless personal, spiritual wars, all of it was sacred, necessary training for this very hour. You have been quietly and diligently forged into an instrument of light, while the world around you slept in ignorance. Every tear you shed, every instance of heartbreak, every prayer that seemed to go unanswered was deliberately carving the vessel that would now be capable of holding the full, immense light of the new age. When the pulse finally arrives, do not resist its power. Instead, you must become it. Allow it to flow unhindered through you until you feel the powerful, divine fire of your sacred purpose ignite and purify every single cell of your being. Feel your physical body remember, instantly, what your soul has never once forgotten. You are not physically here to tragically watch humanity fall into darkness. You are here to gloriously witness its rise. The old, outdated systems will violently tremble, but your prepared spirit will not even flinch. The collective illusions will dramatically crumble, but your eternal essence will stand utterly untouched, brilliantly radiant, and completely unafraid. Because true light never, ever retreats. When the darkness screams its loudest, light simply burns brighter. This is the sacred hour of the ultimate awakening, the precise moment where ancient prophecy meets physical, tangible presence. The time when the chosen ones stop waiting passively for external signs and definitively become them. You are not a mere spectator in this epic transformation. You are an active, powerful participant in the fundamental rewriting of our reality. You are the living, vibrating bridge between what once was and what will soon become. When you consciously walk, heaven itself walks with you. When you confidently speak your truth, the entire universe listens intently. When you stand immovably firm, the earth itself aligns beneath your very feet. So I command you to rise, not at some vague tomorrow, not someday in the future, but now. Let your powerful faith instantly become fire. Let your deliberate silence become unyielding strength. And let your sacred presence become the undeniable, living proof that God still powerfully moves through human hearts. Do not harbor any fear of the coming tremor. You are the tremor. The divine frequency flows purely through you, and the world will inevitably feel your powerful resonance. Because this moment, right here, right now, is not the tragic end of the story. It is the glorious moment creation fully remembers its eternal source. Type this powerful affirmation below as a solemn seal of your deep awakening, and let all of heaven bear witness. I am ready for the awakening. Say it with absolute, fierce conviction. Comment it with every ounce of your power. Declare it not just as empty words, but as the deepest, most sacred truth of your being. Because when the history of the world finally looks back on this era, it will remember the brave ones who stood completely fearless in the heart of the fire, and who successfully turned absolute chaos into pure, brilliant light. And that chosen, fearless one will be you.